Rules questions keeps us sharp. Today we have 12 rules questions. Let's go. Greetings and welcome back to the Basketball Rules Expert, the show where we take National Federation of High School Basketball rules, lift them off the printed page, breathe life into them, simplify, clarify, amplify so that we can take the rules with us onto the basketball court. Greetings again, everybody. My name is Greg Austin with abetterofficial.com. We craft video to help basketball officials get better and take control of their officiating career. I've been a high school basketball official for over a decade here in the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. Consider myself knowledgeable about the rules of high school basketball, and this show is all about helping you on a journey to becoming a basketball rules expert as well. If you have not already, now would be a great time to do all the things. Hit like, subscribe, and notify so that you don't miss out on any of our new content. We live stream 2 times a week. Jump in the chat and join the conversation. Before we get started, allow me to thank our tremendous show supporters who fuel our broadcasts. Janice Brown, Jeff Jewett, Gary Mouton, Ashton Dillon, and Richard Hill. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show, you know I'm going to put a link in the show notes below. Today we're looking at 12 rules questions in a test question format so that we can have a better understanding of the rules. Let's get started today with our very first rules question. Following a jump ball between A1 and B1, the ball is temporarily possessed by A2 before A2 is then tied up by B2. Which of the following is true? A, any 2 players may participate in the jump ball. B, A2 and B2 must participate in the jump ball. C, the ball is awarded to Team A for an alternating possession throw-in. Or D, the ball is awarded to Team B for the alternating possession throw-in. Right? So we have a jump ball scenario. Player A1 is holding the basketball as a result of the jump ball and then is immediately thereafter tied up by B2 or B1. A2 and B2, right? And we have a held ball situation. So our question comes in, what we have here, the question that we have is, when does the possession arrow get established in a jump ball situation? Right? So we have a player who is holding the ball after the jump ball. Immediately, in that instant, we have set the possession arrow. In the absence, right, if the ball was, rather than a player holding the ball, we had 2 players simultaneously grab the ball, then we would have a held ball situation, and the possession arrow had not yet been set. And so in that jump ball scenario, those 2 players will then have a jump ball between them, and the result of that will determine how the possession arrow is set. Okay? So in this situation, we have the absence of the possession arrow being set, or no, we do not have that. We have A2 establishing player control that immediately sets the arrow to Team B. Then we have a resulting held ball situation. We go to the possession arrow. It's already set. The correct answer is it's going to Team B for an alternating possession. So this situation, you're right, once that player control is established, that's the key to the equation. In the absence of that, we would re-jump. But once we've established player control on the court after the jump ball, right, then we have the possession arrow set. And even if it's a fraction of a second later that then we have a held ball, then we're going to go to the possession arrow to resume the game. So this is a game where, this is a situation where we could test whether the fact that, are officials ready to officiate the play when in a jump ball situation, are we truly ready to officiate? And it could come into play here. Any of the officials could say, what they have on the play, get us on the right track here so that we can get this situation correct. Okay, this is an exciting moment. Let's look at our next rules question. A1 has been awarded 2 free throws. During the first attempt, B2 backs out of a marked free throw lane space just before A1 releases the ball. However, after releasing the ball and before it hits the ring or backboard, A1 steps on the free throw line. The attempt is successful. A, there is no violation on the first free throw attempt. B, only the first violation in this case should be penalized. C, ignore the free throw violation by B2 because the free throw attempt was successful. Or D, a double free throw violation occurred, the first free throw is voided, and play continues with A1's second free throw. Right? So similar question. Right? So we have a situation where a player, an opponent in a marked lane space violates, followed by the shooter violating. We are encouraged by National Federation of High School in this situation to always evaluate whether the violation by the opponent led to the violation by the thrower. And if that's the case, distraction or disconcertion should be ruled and a substitute free throw shall be awarded. Now, we can use our judgment in this scenario. It's not automatically, well, he violated, so therefore we're going to rule disconcertion. And we look at this situation and say, is stepping on the line an action of a disconcerted free thrower, or is it maybe more a habitual action or what have you? So in the absence of that, which we are strongly encouraged to do, in the absence of that, we want to do a rule correctly by rule. So we have a simultaneous violation by the opponent, violation by the thrower. Anytime we have a simultaneous violation, that throw-in is the ball is immediately dead, right? If the offensive team is involved, the ball is immediately dead by rule. That free throw will not count. Simultaneous violation, we will move on to the next free throw. So our correct answer here is a double free throw violation occurred. The first free throw is voided and play is continued with A1's second free throw. Language can differ between simultaneous and double. And if I say it was a double violation and the rules book says it's a simultaneous violation, we know what it means. We mean, both teams violated, and we don't have to pick nits about that. I think there's simultaneous is used in the rules book and double is used in some case plays. It's one of those situations where language can get a little jumbled, but in a situation where we have a double or simultaneous violation, we will then go to canceling the free throw and moving to what happens next. Now, if this was the first of a 1-and-1 and we had this situation, and we're going to have to go to the possession arrow in order to resume the game. Since there was a subsequent free throw in this situation, we would resume with that free throw in order for us to move on to our very next rules question. When does the official's jurisdiction end? A, the official's jurisdiction never ends. B, after all officials have left the visual confines of the playing area. C, after the referees have left the confines of after the referee has left the confines of the playing area. Or D, after the final horn has sounded. Right? A simple scenario, right? Just by rule, right? Easy answer here. Right? A correct answer is B, after all of the officials. So the entire crew has left the visual confines of the playing area. Right? 2 officials leave, 1 official stays because they're and then one of the coaches says something unsporting and a technical foul is assessed. Our other 2 officials have left. Not the best behavior. Our other 2 officials are left. This game, if we're going to penalize something, this game has not ended, right? That technical foul is part of the game. and it's the entire crew, right? So the referee leaves, the U1 leaves, and the U2 is still on the court, gets berated by a player, assesses a technical foul. That's part of the game. We may have to bring the crew back if it's going to affect the outcome of the game, what we do next. So a simple question. Last night in my game, I actually, my partner, it was a two-person game. My partner comes to me. We are at the doorway of the gymnasium. And I was thinking, well, wait, is visual? I have left the gymnasium, but I could still see, right? Visual confines. To be honest with you, I'm not sure I know exactly how we would define visual confines. But clearly, if we exit the floor, we go through the door, we are outside the gym, we have left the visual confines of the gym, and by rule, our jurisdiction. So you can have a situation where, let's say we are in the locker room and the head coach comes in, hey, they made a mistake. They made a mistake in the third period. They should have added 2 points. We have to fix this. We have to make the, what have you, right? At that point, we have no opportunity to come back onto the court and correct any bookkeeping errors, etc. Once the entire crew leaves the visual confines of the gymnasium, their jurisdiction on that game has ended, right? We cannot resume the game. We cannot fix things, etc. This game is over by rule, right? So what we like to stress is leave as a crew, right? Don't leave your partner stranded. Sometimes you have a situation where there's a game-ending shot, fans come onto the court, there's excitement, right? And our stray official can get stuck, right? Wait and leave the game as crew. If there's anything at the end of the game that needs addressing as a crew, right? Last second shot was no good, right? A lot of head nodding, crew together. Or the shot was wiped, a lot of head nodding, crew together, right? And leave together in that situation, shows strength as a crew. And it just, like we say, like to put a bow on it. If you, in an end of game situation, we've taken this game from the inception all the way through. The game has ended. We want to tidy up and, like I say, put a bow on it so that when we leave, we have, a complete product and it's finished. And there's no like lingering dynamic that can be caused by a stray crew. 2 officials leave. 1 official is still actively engaged in a discussion, right? Let's leave together. Let's take a look at our very next rules question. Which of the following is true when the ball is loose after B3 deflects a pass from A2? A, team A has team control. B, there is no team control. C, A1 has player control. D, A2 has player control, right? This is an important thing we absolutely have to have an absolute bulletproof understanding of, is team control, right? And this is a situation where the ball is deflected and the ball is loose on the floor. People's understanding, the stakeholders in the game, right? They don't know. They don't know what this means. We need to know what this means, right? Team control exists on the court. Players are passing the ball from player A1 to A2. While the ball is in flight, there is still team control. The ball is deflected by a defender that does nothing in relation to the establishment of team control. Team control still exists when the ball is deflected. Team control still exists while the ball is loose, bouncing on the floor. Team control will end when the ball becomes dead, when Team A releases a try for a goal, right? Or Team B has player control, thus establishing their player control, their team control. So in this instance, our correct answer is clearly A. Team A has team control. And this is a critical consideration. We have to have an absolute understanding of team control. Because when a foul occurs in this situation, the ball is loose, A2 shoves B2 in the back in an attempt to gain control of the loose ball. What kind of foul is it? It's a team control foul. What's the penalty for a team control foul? The ball for throw-in to the opponent at a spot nearest the foul, right? No free throws will be shot. Understanding team control is absolutely critical for basketball officials. Understanding team control, understanding status, player control, team control, right? So in this situation, we have team control, ball being passed between teammates, ball deflected. There's no change in team control by rule. Team control would only change if the ball became dead, then there would be no team control. A try was released for a goal, then there would be no team control. Or the opponent gained team control, not by a deflection, but by the establishment of player control, which would be a player holding or dribbling the basketball. So, understanding of team control is critical to our success as basketball officials. All right, let's start accelerating the pace and look at our next rules question. Which of the following result in an alternating possession throw-in? A technical foul on Team A while the ball is dead. B, a double personal foul when a team is in control of the ball. C, a double personal foul when no team has control of the ball. Or D, a double technical foul on B5 and A5 after a made basket and before the ball has been picked up. Right, this is the kind of question that's probably best explored by looking at the various answers. If we have a technical foul on Team A while the ball is dead, what's the penalty for a technical foul? 2 free throws to any player or eligible substitute and the ball for division line opposite the table. Simple, right? We're not going to have a AP throw-in in that situation. In B, a double personal foul when a team is in control of the ball, right? What's the point? What's the penalty, or what's the procedure for a double personal foul when for a double personal foul? Double personal foul, fouls for both players, and resume at the point of interruption. What's the point of interruption? Team A is in control of the ball. We would resume at the spot nearest to where the ball was for the throw-in for Team A. And D, a double technical foul on B5 and A5 after a made basket and before the ball has been picked up. Okay, so we've got the ball goes in the basket, the ball is bouncing on the floor, 2 players square up, officials assess double technical fouls. What's the adjudication for a double technical foul? Technical foul on A1, technical foul on B1, and resumption at the point of interruption. What's our point of interruption? The ball went in the basket. It's a non-designated spot throw-in to the defender when the ball went in, right? That's the correct procedure. So our correct answer here must be C, a double personal foul when no team has control of the ball. So in a situation where they have the absence of team control, let's say a try goes up, the try ultimately misses, and during the rebounding, preparation for rebounding action, 2 players are engaged and a double foul is ruled, right? So we have a double foul and the absence of team control. We don't know who would get the resulting throw-in, so therefore we would go to the alternating possession arrow. So that's our correct answer there. The answer is C. That's easy peasy, really straightforward. Understanding how to adjudicate each of these situations leads us to an obvious correct answer on this one. It's really straightforward. Understanding, right, when we have a double foul, how do we resume? Right? Assess both fouls. Go to the point of interruption. If our point of interruption is no team control, no team has the right to the throw-in, then we're going to go to the possession arrow. That's really straightforward. Let's look at another rules question. Prior to the start of the game, Team A is assessed a technical foul for failing to have the roster, including starters, in the scorebook before the 10-minute mark of warmups. That technical foul is classified as A, a team technical foul, loss of a coaching box. B, an administrative technical foul, no loss of a coaching box. C, a team technical foul, no loss of a coaching box. Or D, an administrative technical foul, loss of a coaching box. Well, understanding technical fouls and penalties is really important, right? What we need to do as officials is not get caught in the trap of answering questions with, that's a technical foul. We need to get into the business of answering the question with the specific. That's a player technical. That's a team technical. That's a substitute technical. That's an administrative technical. Or that's a bench technical, right? We need that. If we have that, then we know, okay, well, I know what the penalty is for this, and I know what the penalty is for that, right? We're just in the best position to succeed. So in this instance, first of all, right, loss of coaching box. Don't be eager to assess a situation, say, okay, coach, you've lost your ability to stand and coach your team, right? What causes that? A direct technical foul on the head coach causes them to lose their ability to stand and coach their team. Or the behavior of bench personnel. If bench personnel gets a technical foul, the coach gets an indirect technical foul, right? So direct on the coach, bench technical, indirect, coach loses their ability to stand and coach. Team technical, administrative technical, player technical, substitute technical, all those situations, it has no impact on the coach, right? So don't ever make it your default, like, oh, technical foul, the coach lost his privilege to stand and coach his team, right? That's not our default. That can happen with a direct or some bench action, but yeah, we want to be better than that. So our correct answer on this play is B. It is an administrative technical foul, no loss of coaching box, right? For administrative technical foul, that shouldn't even be a consideration that there would be a loss of a coaching box. But if we also look at this question, prior to the start of the game, Team A is assessed a technical foul for failing to have the roster, including starters, in the scorebook before the 10-minute mark of warmups. Is a team responsible for having their roster, including starters, in the scorebook prior to the 10-minute mark? Right? We have to understand that they do not have to have anything in the scorebook. Teams are responsible for submitting that information prior to the 10-minute mark. Whether that information has made it from a sheet of paper into the scorebook is just a factor, is just related to the scorekeeper, right? And it has no reflection on the teams. If the teams submit the information, they are off the hook. Whether that information gets into the scorebook before the 10-minute mark is not a factor in the equation. So understanding that, disconnecting the responsibility from the actual scorebook. For practical purposes, the scorebook is often the way that information is transmitted, right? Very common for our home book to have their players in the scorebook and a blank page. And the visiting scorekeeper comes over and hands them their scorebook, right? And they transpose the information from their scorebook, right? There's no piece of paper intermediary, right? The actual transmission and the submission of rosters is what's listed on a page in the scorebook. So that's very practical, right? And so we can think, well, the currency we're dealing with here is scorebook, right? Scorebook has to be in the scorebook. But the key thing to understand here is the team is responsible to submit that information. That's the most important thing here. And that's our takeaway on this play. Let's take a look at our very next rules question. The official bounces the ball to A1, who has a 2-shot free throw coming. The ball hits A1's leg and bounces away, and while the ball remains in the free throw semicircle, B3 requests a timeout. A, ignore the request and return the ball to A1. B, the timeout request is granted, but not until after A1's first free throw. C, grant B3's request for a timeout at that point. Or D, none of the above, right? Really simple question, obvious answer, but one that it's a question that we like because it brings up all of the things. When is the ball, again, status, status, status. When is the ball live in a free throw situation? When does the ball become live, right? We have to know that. We have to know when the ball becomes live, what makes the ball live, what makes the ball dead, what establishes player control, what establishes team control, when team control starts, when team control ends, a player's status inbounds, out of bounds, front court, back court, status is the critical component, right? We have to know that. So in a throw-in situation or a free throw situation like we have here, let's take a look. The official bounces the ball. 2 free throws, ball hits the player in the leg, sorry about that, and bounces away, and while the ball is right there, the opponent requests a timeout. Can we do that? When may and who may request a timeout? Either coach, any of the 10 players can request a timeout during a dead ball. So when does the ball become live in this situation? Right? The ball becomes live when it is at the disposal of the thrower. In this situation, we have bounced the ball to the thrower. When they catch the ball, and not until they catch the ball, is when the ball becomes live. It is then at their disposal. Even though the ball's right there, right? It's on the floor. They're reaching down to pick it up, right? It's not yet at their disposal until they catch the basketball or are holding the basketball when we hand it to them, right? Understanding that makes things really easy. Clarifies our situation. So our answer here is C, grant B3's request for a timeout at that point. And the reason we grant it at that point is because they are entitled to request and be granted a timeout in that situation because the ball was dead. Straightforward. We like straightforward. A simple question just reinforces the fact that we must be masters of status. That is, if we own status, if we have a complete understanding about status, it makes the adjudication of plays properly by rules so much easier. And we cannot stress enough how important it is. All right, we're moving. Let's take a look at our next play scenario. Which of the following are true while A1 is holding the ball out of bounds for a throw-in? A, the ball is live. B, A1 is in player control. C, Team A is in team control. Or D, both A and C, right? So a player is holding the ball for a throw-in out of bounds. Is the ball live? Well, we know the ball is live when it is at the disposal of the thrower, right? If a player is holding the basketball, the ball is definitely at their disposal. So that A is the correct answer. Does A1 have player control? No, not by rule. No player control in that situation. Team C, Team A is in team control. That is a true statement, right? The rules book says Team A is in team control when they have the ball for a throw-in. Of course, that team control is only for the administration of fouls. Should a foul occur while they are in team control, we would have a team control foul. So in this one, I'd say our correct answer is D. Both A and C are true statements. We're going to move along to our very next rules question. A1 is fouled and awarded 2 or 3 free throws. A11 and B20 are waiting to enter the game but are not allowed in because of the multiple free throw substitution rule. Before the first free throw, it is discovered that A2 is bleeding and must be replaced. A11 replaces bleeding A2. Can B20 also enter the game when A11 does? A. Only B20 is allowed to enter. B. B20 cannot enter the game and must still wait until prior to the last free throw. C. Both A11 and B20 should wait for the second free throw before entering the game. Or D. Our obvious answer. B20 is allowed to enter since B20 had legally reported to the table and another player had been directed to leave the game by officials. Right? Simple scenario. Obvious answer. In this situation, right? Players are waiting to leave. Why are players waiting for before the final free throw? To facilitate management of the game. Okay? But now we have a situation where a substitute is required. Right? This player is bleeding. That player must leave the game by rule. The coach could call a timeout. If rectified after the timeout, that player could stay in the game. But any bleeding player, any player with blood, is directed to leave the game. Right? So we have to have a substitute in that situation. So the need to prevent other substitutes is removed. Other substitutes are brought in by rule. Really straightforward. We like straightforward questions. Right? The easier the question, the better we are. Just like the better position we have on a play, the easier it is to see whether something illegal has occurred, right? So we like we like easy questions, straightforward questions. Gets us thinking about the rules of basketball, National Federation of High School Basketball rules, so we can get better and take those rules with us onto the court. All right, we're into our final questions. Let's look at our next one. Team A is awarded a throw-in by the alternating possession process. Before the throw-in is completed, B5 is ruled for a foul on A4. It is Team B's fourth team foul, and Team A is awarded a designated spot throw-in nearest the foul. Does the alternating possession arrow change in favor of Team B after the foul is committed? A. No, the possession arrow will not be changed. The arrow will still be in Team A's favor. B. Yes, the possession arrow will be in favor of Team B. C. Yes, the possession arrow will change when the throw-in for the foul is completed. Or D. None of the above. Right? So, alternating possession arrow, when does the arrow switch by rule? This comes into question here, right? In order for an alternating possession throw-in, in order for the arrow to change, the throw-in must end. Right? So if we have a violation by the thrower, or we have the ball thrown in and the ball is legally touched in bounds, that would end the throw-in, and then we would switch the arrow. But in this instance, the ball was made live. We never completed the throw-in. There was a foul during the action. So in this instance, the alternating possession throw-in has never ended. Therefore, there would be no switching of the arrow. Really straightforward, simple understanding, one that can catch us, though. We get this in a kick ball situation as well. AP throw-in, defender kicks the ball. The resulting throw-in that occurs is no longer an alternating possession throw-in. Right? The resulting throw-in would be for the violation. In this instance, our resulting throw-in would be for the foul, not an alternating possession throw-in. So a situation that we should recognize, and it may involve some communication. Our table could, in this situation, switch the arrow inadvertently, thinking, right? They're not supposed to be experts at the rules. We are. But our correct answer on this play is A. No, the possession arrow will not be changed. The arrow will still be in Team A's favor, right? That's straightforward. We like straightforward. And, this is not a common scenario, but one that it's important to know as basketball officials so that we can adjudicate plays properly, take the rules with us onto the basketball court, and be experts at the rules. This may be a situation where we really need to slow things down, do some communication, etc., clarify. There may be confusion that results in this situation. The opposing coach might say, hey, they had the last one, right? Or something like that on the resulting throw-in. But we're better than that. All right, we've got 2 more questions. Let's look at our penultimate question. Which of these technical fouls cause a direct technical foul to be charged to the team's head coach? A, the head coach failing to replace a disqualified player within 15 seconds. B, the assistant coach disrespectfully addressing an official. C, bench personnel being assessed a technical foul. D, none. Well, I think our answer is kind of in the question. Which of these causes a direct technical foul on the head coach, right? Direct technical foul. A coach is responsible for replacing a disqualified player within the 15-second interval or by the end of the 15-second interval. So that would result in a direct, if they failed to do that, that would result in a direct technical foul on the head coach. In addition, the coach is responsible for the behavior of bench personnel. If bench personnel is assessed a technical foul, it is indirectly charged to the head coach. So in our situation where we have an assistant coach disrespectfully addressing an official, that is a technical foul on the assistant coach. In addition, since it was bench personnel, that is an indirect technical foul assessed to the head coach. In C, bench personnel being assessed a technical foul. Let's say a player or a team member sitting on the bench says, that ref sucks. And you assess a technical foul to that team member. That is a direct technical foul on that team. That would be a player technical on that team member. And since it was bench personnel, the coach would receive an indirect technical foul. So our correct answer in this situation is A. The head coach failing to replace a disqualified player within 15 seconds does result in a direct technical foul on the head coach by rule. Right? 2 free throws for the opponent, any player or eligible substitute, and the division line throw in opposite the table to resume play. That's simple and straightforward. We like simple and straightforward. If you like simple and straightforward, you like a better official. Videos, basketball rules expert, and 5 Play Friday. We do film using Ecamm live software. Down in the description, there's a link if you want to start a free trial of your own. Fantastic. And now we move on to our final question. Bruh. What is the result if B1 reaches through the end line boundary and makes contact with the Team A player attempting to inbound the ball on a throw-in? A, delay of game violation on Team B. B, technical foul on Team B. C, intentional foul on B1. And D, a legal play. Player reaches through the boundary plane, contacts the thrower attempting to inbound to make the throw-in, right? It's a simple scenario, one we've covered extensively in our throw-in series. I'll put a link above to that if you have any questions about rules regarding throw-ins. So we have a situation where a player violates the throw-in plane and contacts the thrower. The penalty for contacting the thrower during a throw-in is an intentional foul. Our correct answer on this play is C, intentional foul on B1. What's the penalty for an intentional foul? B1 would be awarded 2 free throws, and the ball would be awarded to Team B back at the original spot for the resulting throw-in. Simple and straightforward play. In addition, if the team had not received, right, important to know that in addition, in this situation, if the team had not yet been assessed a delay of game warning, in addition, they would be assessed a delay of game warning in this situation. Player violates the boundary plane, commits an intentional foul by rule. We're going to assess the penalty, administer the free throws, etc. But in addition, hey, coach, that is a delay of game warning. Partner, delay of game warning. In the book, delay of game warning. Also, in addition, if the team had already been assessed a delay of game warning and our player reached through the boundary plane, this would be a situation that could lead to a team technical, but the intentional foul in this instance would then override that. And rather than a team technical for taking an action that would incur a delay of game violation after a warning had been given, the intentional foul takes precedence in that situation. So our correct answer here involves intentional foul assessment and a delay of game warning assessment as well. Well, there you have it. 12 rules questions to help us get better as basketball officials. Thanks for joining us today on Basketball Rules Expert. If you find this to be the content that you find valuable as a basketball official, now would be a great time to do all the things. Hit like, subscribe, and notify so you don't miss out on any of our new content. And get notified when we go live. We go live twice a week, every Wednesday and Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. Allow me to thank our tremendous show supporters, Janice Brown, Jeff Jewett, Gary Mouton, Ashton Dillon, and Richard Hill. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show? You know you can always buy us a coffee. I'll put a link in the show notes below, and I'll put one right up here. Awesome. Hey, I've got additional video content for you here. I have made this choice. YouTube has made this choice. You make your choice. We're going to see you in the very next video. Take care.